In this video, I'm gonna do some freezer prep. These are just the few things that I like to do over and over again. These are my tried and true. Yeah, come along on this journey with me. It's gonna be so much fun. What are some things that you like to stock your freezer with? Either from the store or homemade? Let me know. Today, I'm making some compound butter, which is just a fancy way of saying butter with stuff in it. So I've got my good friend, Mr. Kerrygold here. Of course, you can make your own butter, very easy. Throw some heavy cream into like an electric mixer. Mix until it separates the solids from the buttermilk. Butter. But today is not a homemade butter day. I love compound butter because you can literally make it any way you want to. You can put anything in this butter, and I'm gonna freeze it so that I can use it later, but it is so good. I'm gonna make 2 different kinds today. So I'm gonna cut this in half. I want nice room temperature butter so that I can do the mixing. For my first butter, I'm going to use, let's see here. This idea came to me when I was out in my little herb garden yesterday, and I didn't know what to do with all my herbs. So this is a perfect way to get that used up. So my first butter, I'm going to make some thyme, lemon. We'll start there. So I chopped up some thyme, some lemon zest that I had in the freezer. This butter will be really good with chicken. And I love these butters because you can cook with them, but also top your cooked whatever with them. This would also really be good on vegetables. Like, you know, when you go to a steakhouse and you get that like blue cheese butter or whatever, that's a compound butter. You can put cheese in here, you can put veggies in here, you can put all kinds of different herbs, spices, everything. And for right now, that looks good to me. Then you just mix it up. This is salted butter, but I wanted some extra texture in there, so I'm gonna add just a little bit of some flaky salt. There is my compound butter. This is a lemon, thyme. Oh, I bet honey would be good in here. I don't think I have any. Oh, I'm gonna add a little bit of parsley in here. I want this butter to be green. Got a little piece of saran wrap here, and all I'm gonna do is plop my butter down in the middle. Make sure you scrape this bowl. I want every last drop. Ooh, you can make like a bacon and chive butter. How good would that be on like a bagel? I'll roll into a little log. Try to get it uniform, unlike what I'm doing. Nice and airtight. And then you just throw it in the freezer. And you chop off little nubs when you need it, and it's butter. There you go. There's my first one. For my second one, I'm going a little more like woodsy, I guess. Maybe this is more steaky, but some rosemary for sure. A little bit of sage and more of that parsley. Oh, you know what would be good in here is garlic and some garlic. Oh yeah, this is gonna be great on a steak. But honestly, chicken too. Like, this would be just great on anything. I love butter. So get that really good and mixed up. Oh, you could put this on toast to make a really good garlic bread. Ooh, I bet this would be good with some shallots in here. I don't have any, sadly. But there's just, you know, you can do so many things. Freezer full of butter. I'm also gonna hit this one with some flaky salt. You can make sweet butters too. You could do like a cinnamon one for like breakfast toast or something. Looking real good. My little butter baby. 1 butter, 2 butters. My 2 compound butters that will live in the freezer until I need one. Lob a piece off or use the whole thing, whatever. On to the next. I want to make some stock. I think it's stock. I want to say the difference between stock and broth is stock is mostly made with bones and broth is made with like the meat, but I don't know for sure, but I'm making some chicken juice. So I've got my Dutch oven here, water. I got a rotisserie chicken the other day. I thought that maybe I wouldn't waste what I had here. So just my little chicken bones in here. I'm gonna put this on a medium heat and we'll see what else I got going on here, maybe for some aromatics. I got just some celery tops that I had in the fridge, also some parsley stems from the garden. Yeah, I'm that person. I've got some, what is this? Rosemary. A little bit of thyme left, I'll use that. Got some peppercorns, just a couple of those. I'm going to salt it later. A couple of bay leaves. This is gonna be like a chickeny, herby kind of stock. Of course, you don't have to put any of this extra stuff in here. Just the chicken carcass would probably do you good. But I had it, so I'm gonna do it. A couple of sage leaves. I'm gonna bring this to a boil. Oh, wait, one more thing. A couple more things, actually. I have a lemon here that I just had sitting in the fridge. Give it a little juice. Pop it in. An onion, and all this stuff will be strained out, of course. This is just for some flavor. And a couple of cloves of garlic. Now I'm good. I'm just gonna bring this up to a boil, and then once that comes up there, I'm going to let it simmer for a few hours on the stove, and then we'll strain it, and you've got your broth or stock or whatever you're making. It has been a few hours now, and look at how much it is reduced. This smells so good. I'm gonna let this go just for a little longer, but I want to taste it, and I'm gonna adjust the seasoning now. And here's where I will add the salt, and then I'm just gonna let it cook for the rest of the time, maybe like a little more, 15-20 minutes or so. Of course, I forget to film myself straining the liquid, but I strained everything, and I got a little over 4 cups. It is gorgeous. Look at the color in this. It smells so good. I'm gonna just like, so delicious. Really herby. The lemon comes out a lot. This is the stuff. Carefully. Oh no, that's not carefully. Please hold. I should have known that would have happened, so I'm going to just ladle this into my containers. I'm gonna let them cool completely and then pop them in the freezer. And now I have stock whenever I need it. Got my little containers. Ooh, this makes me want like wonton soup. Of course, my neighbor starts mowing his lawn the moment I have to do this. Anyway, it has come time to restock my little frozen garlic stash. This lasted me a few months. Went to Costco, got my bag of garlic bulbs, and I accepted the fact that this is going to be a process. I was looking for the already like shucked garlic, but I couldn't find any. Cut to today, I just got back from Costco and I found the dang garlic. So we're gonna process a lot of garlic here. It's time to refill my bag. This is 3 pounds of garlic and it's very simple, so let's go. It smells fresh. That's a good sign. But seriously, doing it this way without having to peel and kind of prep those is gonna take me so much less time, but completely worth it. These things have been a lifesaver for me. I definitely suggest trying this because perfection. Because I am the way I am, a little work on my part, totally don't have to do this. But I just really don't like that these have like the ends on them. So I'm gonna just slice them off before I put them in the food processor, but that's just me. You don't have to do that. Is it true that if you like stick one of these up your nose, it clears congestion or something? Isn't that a old wives' tale? Something like that? Or it's supposed to do something. Don't go sticking garlic up your nose, but I heard it from the internet. So I just have a little food processor, so I have to do this in batches, but got my first one here. All I'm gonna do is blitz it up until it is finely chopped, not into a paste, but just choppy. And that's it. Look at that, how easy. This would have taken me 7 years to chop by hand while peeling cloves of garlic. This is it. Look at all this garlic. This is a gallon size like freezer bag. So what I'm gonna do is leave a little room in there, close it but not all the way, just so it can have a little room for air to escape. And I'm just going to flatten this out into one even layer. This is a lot more garlic than I had last time. I feel like these are much thicker. I guess, oh, it's because it is different. This was a 3-pound bag and this is just 2 pounds. Huh, I feel as though 3 is too much for this bag. I might take some out. Okay, let's try this again. And of course you can leave it like this if you want to, freeze it nice and flat, and then once it's frozen, it'll be a little easier to store. But what and then you can just like tear chunks off of it. What I like to do is get like a big chopstick though to help me out with some portioning, but I still feel like I probably have too much in here. But I'm just going to section these out into like little 1-inch or so squares. This way it's kind of like perforated in the bag, so it's a little easier to snap them off. And there you go. I've got garlic for a few months at least, even though I never measure garlic when I'm cooking, but it's nice to get a little roundabout knowledge of how much you're putting in it. And look at this beautiful slab of deliciousness. Here's my little bag of garlic and my big papa bag of garlic. Right into the freezer, ready for me whenever I need it. Breakfast sandwiches. I go into the office a couple times a week and I go in really early, so I usually eat breakfast at the office. And lately I have been prepping some breakfast sandwiches to bring into the office with me, and I'm running low, so I gotta restock. I am a sausage, egg, and cheese girly through and through, so that's what we're doing today. I would love these on a bagel, but I'm gonna put them on English muffins for my prepping because it is just easier and it doesn't taste horrible, so that's what we'll do. Costco, eggs, Costco, pasture raised. Love to see it. I love using these Jimmy Dean already cooked sausage patties. They're so easy to work with because I don't like how just like one patty really won't fit well on the sandwich. I cut these in half, and so that way one will be good for one sandwich, but it's like 2 little thin patties, so more bang for my buck. American cheese. The way I do this is very time consuming because this is just how I like to do it. This can take no time at all if you're a normal person, but I'm not, so that's what we're doing. I like to give my English muffins a slight toast. You do not have to do this. It's just something that I like. It doesn't even really get toasted all that much. It just makes the tiniest difference to me, and any joy that I can give myself early morning at the office, I'm gonna give myself. Onto a sheet tray, put them under the broiler for a couple minutes. Make sure you watch them so they don't burn. My first batch of English muffins is out of the oven. Like I said, very light toast. Just enough to just give it a little bit of texture and crunch. I like to just put these out assembly line style. That way it is so much easier for me to do this, especially since my next couple steps are what really slow me down, but that's okay because this is just my time in the kitchen. I really like doing this, and so here we are. Got my stations all worked out here. Got my cheese, English muffins, my little halved sausage, my eggs, butter, and this is the part where it takes me most of the time because I'm going to be frying off both sides of each of those little sausage patties because I like the way it tastes and it gives a lot of texture. Of course, you do not have to do that. You can even microwave this sausage and be done with it. I do each egg one at a time. I know I'm crazy, but it makes it so perfect for the English muffin, and it just gives me a lot of just excitement. So let me have this. Of course, you can get a bigger pan like this, do a couple at a time, or those big skillets, you can just go for it, or you can just do them on a sheet tray in the oven. You can scramble your eggs, do whatever you want to, but I like to do them one at a time with my little circle mold. And I put these into a dry pan. They are going to create enough fat on their own. And these are fully cooked, so all I'm doing is really just browning them on each side. So it doesn't take that much longer, but it's just an extra step. And for my sausages, I have a plate with a paper towel on the other side of here. So that way I can just drain off any extra grease. The first egg always comes out funny. It's like the first pancake, but I still use it. And I use butter. I don't like to use oil or like spray oil with my eggs. I think they just taste better with butter, like everything does. Pepper and a little salt. And then I break the yolk. Once I'm pretty confident that the egg will mostly hold its shape, take that little ringy off and give it a flip. Take this off. I'm gonna put it over on my cutting board to cool before I put it onto my English muffin, and then I'm just gonna go in with my next egg. Time for assembly. I've got everything over here. The way I like to do it is I'm just gonna take one of my eggs, pop it on, one sausage, but my two halves of my sausage. See how if it was just one, it would be like that? That's not a good breakfast sandwich. So I do it like this. That way it gets more on there. Slice of American cheese on top. Crown your king. Breakfast sandwich. That way when you warm this up, the cheese melts and kind of holds all this stuff under it together, and it's a perfect little sandwich. So now I'm just gonna put the rest of them together. Time to wrap these things up. Let's go. I wrap them in plastic wrap and then I put them into like a freezer bag. Take a section of my plastic wrap, cut it into a square, and then just wrap them up nice and tight. Don't squish them too much because some of these I did notice that my yolks were still kind of gooey in there, so I don't want to like burst it out of there too much, but pretty much there you go. Grabbed my empty bags out of the freezer where I keep them. I just reuse these every time just so I don't, waste so much. But I stack them a couple deep in here. One bag. There you go. Breakfast for the next several weeks. When I am bringing one of these to work, I take it out of the freezer the night before, put it in the fridge so it thaws overnight. I find that they come out way better when you reheat them. And when I get to work, I just throw it in the microwave, nuke it for like 30-35 seconds, and it is perfection. And that was everything I ended up prepping for this video and everything I feel like prepping for the moment. I don't want to do anymore. That was enough. It was a good time. I have stocked my freezer with some very useful things for me, and that's what it's all about. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.